Hey, just Mark here. So, have you ever felt like someone doesn't value you the way they used to? Maybe it's a close friend or a family member or someone that you've kind of gone above and beyond for over your years? Well, what if I told you there's a way to change that? And you'll get the results, maybe not the one you wanted, but it's something that I've done in the past, and it's helped me immensely in moving forward in my life. And it'll get them, it can sometimes get them guessing and wondering, what happened? Why is this person not paying attention to me anymore, right? Or why is this person not doing the things that they used to? Anyways, just a moment, we're gonna get right into it. So the thing I wanna talk about is that when someone is undervaluing you and not treating you the way maybe you thought they were in the past, it's not about treating them poorly, but it's about gaining yourself back, in yourself, and hopefully in that relationship, should it continue, like that, friendship or whatever that might be for you, right? Now, our natural response is to try harder, get people to like us, want to, get them to be drawn into us and include us. But you kind of have to do almost the exact opposite. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to pull away and be less available, right? Because the more available you are, the more they're going to, I don't want to say take advantage of that, but that's what they want. They want you to be around them all the time and do those same things. Many times in my life, I have felt undervalued by people. And the trick I've done is I've just walked away a little bit, not been as giving with my time or my presence or, just being around or helping as much. And that might sound kind of rude, but the reality of it is you learn to value your time and what you do and who you are. And the more you do that, the more you gain that kind of, I don't want to say power, but you kind of gain that back for yourself, right? So I'm just walking through the bush, so I got to watch where I'm going. See, when people start to notice your absence, they start to question it. And maybe they will reach out to you. And if they do, the important part is to have that conversation. Let people know you didn't feel valued or that you didn't feel important to them anymore and that you felt that you were being, necessarily used a little bit, right? These people may eventually realize what they've been missing all along, or maybe they'll realize that they were taking advantage of you as a person and not acknowledging you as much as maybe they could have or should have, right? And, even when it comes to these kind of people, it can be friends, it can be family, it can be colleagues at work. I remember there was a job I had years ago where I had a boss who I did a bunch of stuff for, and something changed and they took credit for something that I did. Well, after that incident, I went home and I decided that I couldn't be in that position anymore. And so I left. I actually put in my notice and I went elsewhere. Now, that boss and I had a conversation years later where he said he definitely missed my presence and my attitude and my positivity, out there in the workplace, right? So when you start walking away from these people, you also will start doing things that make you more happy, your life more enjoyable, and you start finding the best version of yourself. And that's what makes it unique, because maybe when those people come back, they see a stronger you. And maybe that's what they were hoping for you all along, right? But in the moment when you were giving of your time and your energy and your space, you were just giving so much to them, right? Your confidence, your independence, everything will get better. And when you start setting boundaries, then you can actually rebuild these situations and these relationships, right? And you also start to respect yourself enough to stay firm to those boundaries. I have definitely been a person who set boundaries but didn't stick to them. And it's important for you to stick to those boundaries. Otherwise, you go back into the same cycle that you were in before. And then these people start relying on you more again, taking more of your time, energy, and taking you away from the things that maybe you want to do that are more important to you. And that's what you want to change. One of the coolest things One of the coolest things that happened for me is when I pulled myself back a bit, those individuals that were no longer valuing me or appreciating me in my mind started coming back. And they basically were no longer in that control, and they remember that, you're a person too. And you have emotions and feelings and different things that you expect. And it's a great thing. People, as you grow and do things on your own, people do get fearful that you will leave them. I don't know how many times in my life that I have missed out and feared that certain people were leaving my life because they were growing beyond me. And so I guess if I'm going to sum this up a little bit, you have to focus on not chasing people and let them do their own thing, become a better version of yourself, and hopefully that relationship or those relationships will come back to you tenfold. If they don't, then you have the other solution. And that is that you have gained confidence, you have grown, you've become an amazing person. Stepping away from other people is very hard because maybe you have an emotional connection. Maybe you have a connection with these individuals because of your past or your history, and you want to keep building those relationships. But I'm also a strong believer in that some of our relationships that we've had in life are ones that were only meant to be around for a while and not kind of a forever thing. Sorry for the bright sun. I'm walking right into the sun this time. And it all comes down, to be honest with you, about creating a better version of yourself. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What's important to you as a person? Sorry, I gotta have a seat here. When I think about the situations I've walked away from in my past, some of them it kind of sucked because I didn't really speak to these people again, but others it actually made me better. And I'm finding now that I'm older, I'm in my late 40s and focusing more on my own time, the people that I do spend quality time with are valuing my time, valuing me as a person. And I'm willing to walk away from any single person who stops devaluing me as a human being. And that includes certain work relationships. I've got friends and former coworkers who I've really been trying to reach out to grab, coffee to. Well, I've asked a million times and I get all these excuses and I took the hint. Maybe they don't want to hang out with me, and that's fine. So I'm not trying anymore. And maybe they'll reach out to me in the future and say, hey, you know what? Let's grab that coffee. Same thing with some friends. I remember, I want to say in my late 20s, after one of my friends got married, I tried numerous times to reach out to hang out. And then a couple times we'd make a plan, get together, and then they would never show up. And here I am at a restaurant or a pub or whatever, sitting by myself. And after a while, I stopped. It took a few years, but that person reached out to me and we had a conversation and we kind of settled that. And, I said, I try to respect the time that you're married and you've got kids. And now we've actually hung out quite a lot in the last few years, which is nice for me because they were one of my best friends. So just my thoughts tonight. But if you are feeling undervalued, just know that you are worth people's time and attention. And those who don't want to value you for who you are as a person, walk away, take a break. Because sometimes stepping back and stepping away will have them realize how important you were in their life, and hopefully that relationship can rebuild itself. Anyways, cheers. I'll see you all in the next one.